3. Enigma, I had a lot of fun on that one, and I love to see surprises.
Honestly, it's been an absolute blast. Just being able to talk about these very storylines. We spoke about Group B was the group of death, right? New icons, they're probably not in that conversation. They said, we are absolutely here to make a
Yeah, Brett needs a good game here. He needs a good game.
By the way, Team
this is the last game in the pool.
In that map as well. Go absolutely nuclear.
Unreal. I'm excited to hear from our analyst, Taylor Reflections Noble. How's it going over there? Because it's hot in here.
Absolutely
incredible. I am mind blown that nobody took control of prison for the entire middle portion of that game.
You know, we're about to break
it was free.
First, let's talk Prodigy, Abwiz, and them going absolutely massive. Talk to me how big that game was for them.
Well, for one, we switched to their POV and we saw, obviously, they were just lighting up the streets. And I believe it was Oki right there.
Like that her eyeshadow matches her shirt.
Yeah.
But it was about the
attention to detail.
Right? We saw Oki kind of trying to split teams. You see him rotating around on the opposite side of the gas and the northern side of the zone. And then, man, Prodigy, he was just slaying out. You guys know he's playing on a 2020 sensitivity. Look how
the end zone. Yeah, no. If you go back and look, the entire middle portion of that game, there was not a single team prison.
That was insane.
As a coach, by the way, Methods, I mean, unreal play from Methods right there. I couldn't believe to see Heretics step up, but the winners here, Eisen, that's the kind of team that took us all by surprise, because this is one of those teams that, you know, they were even highlighting on the desk that they didn't have a good solos. None of them had a good solo day, but here finding a win in the trios against a hard-hitting set of groups as well. This is a big booster for them.
Yeah, and like it was just mentioned, Goj just said it. They're in the A group. They were in 9th going into this. Now getting that win, that is absolutely going to boost them right up.
Yeah, it's not even like they had an easy path to get to that final circle either. They push underneath prison, just battling their way through towards all these teams. Yep. They pinch out SGP as well. SGP were stuck between Na'Vi as well as Eisen, and then just continue to force their way into that final circle. At the end, and it was Brody that kind of pointed this one out. They took top prison just out of nowhere, and everybody's just like, wait a second, Eisen's still alive? And that's such a big moment.
Well, actually, that's exactly what happened, but also committing to the rotation early, because again, they were one of the first teams to rotate early, and Oki started to lead that as well. I believe Oki ran into them, got taken down. So committing to that rotation and having the setup first.
Pays off.
Yeah, perfect.
Incredible stuff. And Prodigy, again, going back to him, Prodigy was a guy that you mentioned playing on 2020 Sense, and it made sense watching him kind of, you know, just absolutely snap this entire team, popping off when they needed to most. And they were a big discussion at the beginning at the top of show. All these clubs are playing for the club championship trophy, trying to earn points. Well, AB Wiz and their crew can absolutely shut that down.
At what
Yeah,
time,
absolutely.
EXO?
I mean, utilizing the C4 there to get your opponent weak, but I mean, being able to just how quickly maneuver, he was literally slaying everybody. Being able to take down what that was Bagel
right now,
there, just anybody in his path. But how?
Yeah, sure, I'll play.
Move at a 2020 Sense. I mean, that's hard to control, you guys.
Hard to control indeed, but like you said, 9th place is where they started. Now they've gone up, or at least for Eisen and his crew, right? Which just absolutely great. Let's actually bring in some casters, 2 of them anyways. And we got
what's the entry? Before I say yes.
Watching all the action, I actually came up there and talked to you guys. I know you're pumped up. Shift, come on, talk to me, man. These at least 3 games that we've seen so far, I mean, lights out.
Look, if you want chaos, there's no more chaos than someone dropping in to a win. I mean,
I'll send it to you right now.
You guys fight it out. Let's sit up here with a pistol, watch you guys duke it out. It's not bad.
It's not.
Oh God, it's not bad at all, man. I mean, dude, we were sitting in that green room. You know, we always had a little bit of a delay. So when we got into the matches, though, dude, electric. I'm glad that the games are bringing the hype. It was worth the wait. We are here. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Spicy.
Oh golly. This is gonna be fun, man. And I think the thing is, there's no more expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just, let's get
I
Mixie, thrive in the chaos, jump right under the trenches, which it looks like we're about ready to go here for map number 4 already. So already ready to hit this one on the ground running. I mean, just other reactions, you know, towards
this is how long the break should be between maps.
One big thing that I wanted to know, in that kind of first sort of group we saw between A and
I think
B,
I'm a
map number 1,
12 or
we saw
13.
1 or 2 teams go out before Resurgence closed.
13,
map
I think.
Number 2, all 14 teams alive as that Resurgence ends. However, when we move into this new group set, I think by the time Resurgence closed, we have literally half of the lobby deleted and gone. All right? More
No, it's 1 million split. So I think the winner gets 200,000.
Yeah, really pumped to see what we get in terms of, are there going to be more contested over the top of some of these landing zones, because flat out, we saw Alula really get costed in their first set of games because of that. So far, looks like everyone's taking some of their designated areas. Breadman, of course, trying to play for top water tower, and he will be hit by Dongi early. So an opportunity to try to get things going here between this Cloud9 squad, which had a really poor start to their first game.
Yeah, I know that they are disappointed with that first kind of, drop that they had, and coming in here into drop number 2, they want to make some waves.
A bag.
Remember, it's only going to get harder from here. We're bringing that Hell Group, Group B, back into the mix in that next map. This is your time to really rack up the points if you are a squad like Cloud9.
I know, me too,
back
Rose.
on over at Control. This is a matchup I love that we see.
This guy needs...
Zizix, and
he shouldn't be pushing his teammate.
I had a chance to interview Zeppa, actually, and he was pumped about this contest. He was ready for it. He said, bring it.
Well, they're getting it brought to him at the moment. Hamoud right down in with the pistol, a couple of shots for the tags, but for the most part, this is a difficult battle. As, yeah, this is now just down to essentially what can Hamoud do to stay alive. Crim's knocked and taken down, and this is just a staggered that Na'Vi is more than happy to say thank you very much for the kills.
Yeah,
I mean, even if they place dead last, they make 5K, which, like,
getting into this cycle, right, where you get taken out, you kind of are
just
one
crazy.
Of your teammates is alive, maybe 2 of them, but the second one doesn't have full loadout. You're trying to be able to fly back on in, and it's just kind of a cycling of kills between the 2 teams until eventually somebody's going to win this POI. They're going to come out with a lot of elimination. So while
you better not be picking your nose, because we're watching you.
Sometimes it's okay. Just back away. Give it up.
Exactly the case. You don't want to think about it is you just don't want to be in a position to where you're exiting with no kills, no placement. It just really feels like a lost game where not even an outlier factor can come into play. That's just really going to punish. So, yeah, still seeing him in the kill feed. Zeppa, Linex continuing to farm on to Hamoud and the rest of the boys as we head on in.
Oh, that was well played, I believe. The stun and the thermite.
Great day so far. Dongi as well, one of our top overall kill leaders. And now we get to finally see Believe get a little bit more involved, but does get taken down. Juki's team right around the corner.
Yeah, it looked like that was a really solid opening sort of down from Intex and Co, but they are going to answer back. This is going to be just a very, very clean sort of team engagement. You can see there's only one player left over there.
Like, what's up with these teams and not taking control? Okay, I was going to say, nobody's prison, but there's people prison.
Making waves all day long, sitting here in this bottom prison area, all 3 playing together, looking to make some waves around the map.
Levi and them are playing really well, really well.
Na'Vi and Team Zix. And I think maybe, just maybe, finally Na'Vi have won.
Levi said, I'm not resin you, Limax. Get a grip.
The other side of this conversation is not just has Na'Vi won, but there's also the element of Zix has been dominated. Yeah. Absolutely farmed at the moment as we head on over to Team Destroy.
Jace is down.
You have to give a lot of credit to Destroy. Having not played yesterday, we heard the interview at the beginning of the day, not feeling well.
Oh, Knight is hurt as heck.
Even experienced Saudi Arabia to this
nah,
point.
this was a crazy chow out of Nate Dogg.
Fantastic game.
This was a crazy chow out of Nate Dogg.
These maps, but you have to be able to close it on out if you are them. Twisted Minds kind of gaining control of that bottom prison area. You see Raul, part of Team Destroy, on the roof. They're just waiting for the teammates to come back on in. Alula on the other side. They've sort of sticking to this chemical engineering, taking a little bit of opportunity to decide where do we want to
they're not on a lot of kills. Lennon and Tom are on 0.
Circle 1 does go ahead and close. We are seeing a lot of action in this map already.
Taking a look just kind of over the top of everything. Yeah, it does look like finally Team Zix has given up on that position over towards Control Center.
Oh, the second that you have to jump in the water, you are dead.
It's a matter of time before they find their way out of the picture. And, well, kind of taking a look, we already have lost 1 full squad to this point. So, Na'Vi now in fighting form with loadouts ready to go. A little bit of a different contest starting to come through as this is Team Vision that's right around the corner from them.
Oh, Levi is dead.
And all of a sudden, Na'Vi in a little bit of trouble.
Tommy and them might get wiped here.
On the boat there, trying to be able to circle like sharks in the water.
Jiggies is left alive on that team.
Finally, they'll be able to bring them down on this dock side. Clapper wants to hit that redeploy, but this is the rough part of those. You get ripped up. He's able to hit the redeploy and is hanging on by a
Oh, Jiggies killed Doggy.
And it looks like finally AB Wiz will be the one to bring them on down. C9 sitting up at that helipad just above chemical engineering. A little bit of a regain situation happening. And, well, Intex, you're flying back on in. You're joining on up with Believe here at the harbor, looking to make a regain.
Yeah, and I think the thing
about it showed the leaderboard, did they?
Much from them for probably quite some time.
After the last map,
get themselves back with proper weapons to take these mid-game enragements. And Tommy also kind of in a similar situation, trying to float in, get to his loadout. He does safely get there. I say that with hesitation.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
Very little health, but still able to get himself the proper loadout that he wants as we get on board with Twisted Minds. Not the greatest result from their last
Redmen
overall
are
match,
doing
but
better.
they're absolutely
I don't think they're
dominating
doing great,
Prison. It's
though.
Team Destroyed that's nearby, but again, it's just one member left.
Yeah, and I love they're kind of just sticking around this prison area. They don't really feel the need to sort of fly around the map, really move. This is a really strong point that if you can gain control of, that you can lock it on down. A lot of teams might try to come on in here to maybe kind of hold on up, but it's going to be hard when you got a team like Twisted Minds. So I love what Z-Smith's doing there. You see him kind of looking up towards that tower saying, I know there's somebody up there. We need to take them off.
Lennon,
And for Twisted Minds, it's been really good in terms of placements. They have had
it's
a
just
really
like Lennon
difficult time,
and
though, finding the
Intech's
same kill
team
success
just
that the
trading back and
individuals
forth,
didn't
back and
provide
forth,
yesterday.
back
So
and forth.
That's the big question mark here for these guys, as I'm sure they're sitting here saying, where is everybody? I mean, we've cleared out the entirety of prison. They've barely seen another squad in any sort of form. So now it's just going to be down to getting over to a buy station, likely getting a UAV and getting themselves active. Over to Aula. In a little bit of a difficult spot trying to rotate over. We talked about Tommy before.
Yeah, he's in a trash spot here.
It, but the problem is you've got BSL staring right down your throat.
Yeah, really good job there from Liam and Bagel to kind of take that on the high-low. Really classic Battle Royale move, to be honest with you, to bring down Tommy. And you see some shots come on in on that roof, and immediately they're going to jump on down and try and maybe re-engage this. You come on out, you're going to be able to clean up Jukies, and they actually spot Lennon. A couple shots going in deep, not going to be able to connect. But for right now, you have this entire edge of zone. If you are BSL, you kind of are opening up the map.
I'm going to be really curious to see the standings of the Group A teams because they've played 4 games after this. I want to see how far behind Eddie and them are.
For a moment there as we jump on board with Levi and Navi, who are dealing with, again, remnants of more squads that can just drop right on into their laps. We got to remember they did have pretty much a full reset of their own, so right back in, still finding kills. Navi definitely feeling like they're really putting together a high kill number early.
Yeah, I mean, I love they kind of just able to sit here, and they haven't really felt the need to really move around the map. The only thing that worries me, though, you have a lot of squads that are starting to move in from the other side.
This is going to get crazy. There's 13 teams alive.
Kind of hang out here, kind of catch some of these teams on rotation. They will be feeling good because you have a couple teams coming in from docks. They're coming in, of course, from those tents area, maybe up from living quarters trying to wrap on through. As we see Clapper tries to hit the zip, but it's going to be Limax with a little bit of a fadeaway to bring him on down.
Yeah, Vision.
Limax kind of just spit on that guy. They were first in the first group. They're not playing right now. This is a different group that's playing.
Still right underneath them potentially, but again, it feels like they need to take a breath here for a moment. I mean, they're on a really busy
They'll be playing the next map, though. So they'll probably get bumped out a little bit of first place because there's a group that's played 4 maps and they've only played 2 now. So they're 2 maps behind.
Somehow, some way, considering the fact that it looked like Navi was dominating them, they're actually looking pretty solid at the moment.
I mean, hey, your ability to regain is such a crucial factor in this game mode, and especially in this tournament over this week. And I love that we're seeing Zizix
so you said they're playing 8 maps today? How does that make sense?
Kind of losing this first initial drop, this initial contest, you're proving that you can kind of go to a different area of the map and regain. This is the type of moment they're going to look back on if they make it to the finals.
Yeah, Limax has been cooking today.
Bad map that they're going to look back and say, we did it once before, we can do it again.
And how about it? Hamoud is able to find a stray member of the side of Twisted Minds. Smith dealt with. The rest of the team already got rotation.
I feel like Nate Dogg and them aren't doing too good. Oh, Rodrigo! They died.
That squad 7, that's Izon's team, that's done and dusted. And I will say, again, we want to talk about surprises. They're currently at the top of our leaderboard now with 60 points. So not the greatest individual day, but wow, they came to play here in day number 2.
68 points.
What you want to see. Back on over to prison, though. Team destroyed.
And then whatever they have here.
We kind of saw this. We knew that they were hanging
out
so
they're going to be behind quite a bit.
Aggressive early on in the map set. Top of prison is their playground as they do spot Juki's flying on in. A couple shots will go out. Nothing really there.
They didn't get a multi this game, though.
Hey, I got this roof.
I think they got a couple kills, yeah. See, like, Jace is on 0.
Off the table. So, again, one of our squads that had a really good start to their group stage now find themselves down and out very early.
Yeah, they're not in a good spot here.
The respawns will close out. C9 will have to find a way to get Foreign Jace back into the mix. Well, on the same front, I mean, again, you just look over
you can't.
You still got Team Ab.
They have a horrible rotation. There's 2 of them.
He continues to be
this is not good. They have a full 3 on their left, and they have a full 3 on their right.
Pretty desperate rotation to get up to high ground.
Yeah, I do like the sort of positioning. You see the connect.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
A little bit of open area that you have to cross to get back.
I see what you're saying, though. 4 today and 4 tomorrow.
You have smokes in your back pocket to make it happen. You can see. SGP, they've been able to make a little bit of an early rotation on top of them. Tommy lurking a little bit behind. Juki's not too far away either. So I think if those two can kind of team up, start moving around the map together, you could find a couple of kills on
Dang, they got the full and a knock.
17 kills from Zizix, and they continue to find eliminations, that time by way of the mortar strike. Na'Vi also up
How did
there
they
in the
buy
kill
Jace
total.
back?
They're currently on
Redman's
16,
down.
and a chance to possibly win out the interior here at Prison. More players down low. Wouldn't you go figure that these two teams are going to find a way to fight each other again, you'd think. At the moment, though, it is looking at C9, trying to rotate over, and how about it? A little bit of a duality play coming through as all of a sudden you've got SGP in the mix.
Yeah, Na'Vi, you're trying to push on through. You want that space, but you're just going to get denied from SGP, forcing you to think on your feet. You can see Limax.
How did they remember all of the orgs that these people are on? Because like they just joined these orgs.
The duo, they're kind of getting that
like
little
days
bit of
before the
side room,
tourney.
outside showers as well, just trying to hold on top of it. We'll have to wait and see, but look where this zone is starting to pull here, shift. We are about to see what I like to call the Great Migration.
Well, it might look like the Trail of Tears here in a moment because everyone's coming right down the front side at Prison, and it's going to be an absolute mess.
Yeah,
also,
that's
kind
why
of
they're
in the
getting
mix,
their
you have a
bag
full
right
team
now.
wipe in the mix. Twisted Minds able to win out in the middle of the new circle. You can see on the minimap pulled up, they have got a prime position locked into one of the only buildings that will be in this new center.
Yeah, I really like this. If you look at this map, basically you have two areas you want to try and hold. You either want to try and hold this
beautiful,
ground to the
beautiful
northwest that's up there,
snipes
or you
out of
wanna
this
hold
team.
the one building that's there. They're opting to kind of sit on the low ground because I think if this zone does pull sort of, you know, more northeast, more southwest, you're kind of setting yourself for a better position. Meanwhile, if you want to try and hold
I knew that these guys were on crazy kills. Yeah.
All looking to do this.
Yeah, I knew.
Actually going to find a little bit of a corner
I've been seeing them on the kill feed, but I've been seeing them mostly like get traded out, not really get a lot of kills.
Rotating right through where they previously were, kind of chasing their own shadows in a certain way. And we look over towards Destroy. He will be knocked, but a chance to keep them.
They're in a great spot theoretically, Nate and destroying them, but they're gonna get surrounded because they have, you know, Zeppa on the left. They have two trios in front of them, and then they have a trio behind them. So they're gonna get singled out by every single team here. Yeah.
But it's gonna be a mortar from Oki, dealing some insane damage.
See,
Raul with the shock stick, follows it up with the thermite. Okay,
oh my god.
And he's still healthy enough. Destroy's going to get purchased back in, so they're right back into this. It looked really desperate for a moment there. They're pinned between three different squads, but now look at where the rotation's going to come through. You've got Twisted Minds from the edge of the circle now playing up to the north. Smokes are through. You've even got...
Oh my god, Oki and them! Oki had high ground and they all died!
It's just absolute chaos here as we rotate back closer to Prison.
This is one of those pulls that you hate to see,
what
but if you can play it correctly, you will absolutely
all three of them were on the roof and died.
Sitting here top Prison, full view of everybody trying to come on in. It is Hamoud. 11 kills already in this map. I know that they would love to get a win under their belt.
He doesn't have money though, so I don't know why he threw that 40 by.
I mean, they've got 24 total kills. Even a second place would be unbelievable for them to get not just in the mix, but like you mentioned, maybe into a top 2 position overall on the leaderboard. And Hamoud can still stay up on top of this building for a little while longer. So now you're down to the final 3. Destroy squad out of the mix. You're looking at a full team of Alalua and then one player.
Theoretically, Lennon and them should win this because they're the only trio.
Left remaining. It looks like Tommy, London, and Juki should pull this off, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch.
We've seen crazier endings today.
Smith's gonna die to the guy on the roof.
We'll have to wait. Now, the real thing is here is that if you are Z-Smith or Hamoud, it is so crucial that you get second instead of third right here. And it actually is going to be Z-Smith that goes down in third. Hamoud, top Prison.
He should just go die in the storm.
Try and make something happen, but
he has to wait for him to heal and then just run to your death.
Here for so long.
Yep.
Gas mask has been depleted. You can see some of that damage coming on in. Not really enough cash to hit that mobile buy that's right near him. I don't know. This might just be a moment where you're just waiting, maybe get taken out by the gas and deny Alula that one extra little bit of point.
That's the right call, my friend.
That was the smart play.
Allow them to get that extra kill. That is
Thank you so much for the 25 months. Thank you very much for the prime. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The thing is, it's going to feel like an empty win in certain regards from Tommy and Co. They finish on
I don't think.
Oh, that's not 13. 13 total kills. I
yeah, so they didn't get a lot of kills. Yeah.
Not bad, but
not great, yeah.
Second, third, fourth, all had more overall kills than they did.
That's kind of really the beauty of Resurgence. You can see how excited
they're so hyped. Good for them. Good for them.
When we looked at Tommy, Juki's, and Lennon, they were like, all right, pumped. yeah, let's go, let's get into the next one. But that squad,
well, I think I know that because Juki's and letting them know that that wasn't like a great game for them.
What I like about that win, though, if you are Alula, though, it seems like they've kind of struggled a little bit off their drop
It's
spots.
the better game. It's their best game so far, but it wasn't crazy
But
game.
they're able to regain. They're able to play out the rest of that game and make it to be that last sort of final 3 alive. Being able to make it to that end game, being a full 3-man team, speaks a lot.
And on top of that, just looking back, they finished 13th in the last game with 0 kills, apparently, is what we're reading here. So that's a huge game just to get them into the conversation.
I love that you call that out. That's exactly the type of thing you need. And this is a team that is going to sort of thrive off of momentum, right? They are very momentum heavy. We've seen it with Juki's 11. We know
I agree. It should help them get tough routine.
But when Tommy's fired up, you got the best comms in the game on your team. You know he's going to be telling the boys, hey, we got this. We just need to kind of keep frying and keep maneuvering on out. So hopefully they can do that tomorrow, though, because I believe they are done for today.
They are, and I was just about to say, that's a great way to end your day. We kind of saw it from Tommy at the end of the solos yesterday. He had the 1v1 versus Breadman in one of the final 2 drops, and then here.
So Juki's and them have played 4 maps. They were on 14 points after 3 games prior to this. So they just got 26 points, so they'll be on 40 points.
Sure. At this point for Hamoud, but regardless of it, I think you're absolutely right. That's one of those you look back on for Alula and say, okay.
So after 4 games, they haven't even passed Eddie's team.
Yeah, this is going to be a game
Alexi team. Okay, enjoy studying. Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Hey, we had some games we didn't do too well. We had one game we did really, really well. We need to at least be halfway point between that, but like, let's take the best, let's fix the worst, so that way hopefully when you come in tomorrow, you're feeling like a whole brand new team.
Can we early call that is the
I think the only team that passed Eddie and them
finishing with top kills in the lobby in second?
It's up there. It's at least tied.
I would say it's number 1 for right now. I mean, unless you want to make an argument for the I fell in with a pistol.
I think it's Sun God in them, or Izun.
Making a play through the gasket.
Fancy Bear, thank you so much for the prime. I appreciate it so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Second heat worth of games. 1 more heat to go, 2 more drops. We head back to Taylor and the rest of the desk.
All right, thank you, Shiv. Dandro, what a game that was. And finally, a good showing coming out from Team 6, one of their best performances. And the good news is they've got 2 more games to go since they are Group C. Game 1, we won't really talk about it. Game 2, though, we will talk about it without question. But Alula waking up for the first time, their 4th game of the day. That was their final until we see them tomorrow. Finally, they get something done.
It's about time. I mean, Alula had this ecstatic day number 1. We were all counting on them to keep that momentum into day 2. And
not in Warzone. Apparently there is in another esport.
A little bit of a shaky one. They kept on finding themselves fighting from the back foot time and time again, just constantly just trying to revive their teammates, just make it into place. But in that last game, we were all surprised watching them early on that, you know, Juki's, Tommy, and Lennon, they were all making it in towards the final circle. They just keep on playing against that adversity, and I think that's what makes this Alula team quite special. What we were looking forward to them is that no matter how much they get pushed back, we can always count on them to show up.
Well, let's talk about Team 6, because 6 was going off and going so well. Hamoud, too, I want to say one of the top slayers out there. These guys really made an impact in Game 2. We talk about them, 2 of them, right? Zix as well as Hamoud, being Saudi locals.
I gotta pee really, really
Saudi
bad.
Arabia, representing the Falcons in the World Series of Warzone. Of course, not here, though, when it comes to the World Cup. But regardless, though, they are looking like a powerhouse team at this point, and I know they got to be happy. The snipes were on point. This is what I liked about this positioning. They were on top of, headquarters. They were pinning down teams, but then they made the rotation to factory.
Yeah, I mean, and smart plays all around. I mean, getting those snipes too, those picks, that was so crazy. Wiping out methods there too, which obviously they were dominating the last game around control. But that rotation was actually really chaotic, right? Let's talk about that towards the end. Because one of the teams that we saw in that early rotation, Brody, was Twisted Minds, right? They were set up on the other side of Factory. Not a lot going on. They were just chilling, right? And then all that action over by Prison.
Yeah, it's funny how everything can come tumbling down from early rotation, right? Twisted Minds, they made that early rotation, as you said, over towards that side of the map, which, to be fair, I think they were gravitated towards that area for a really long time. But again, they were chilling for like a long time, just waiting for something to come their way. The minute it does, it kind of all falls apart. I will say, shout out to Smith, though, towards the end of the game. I think Dandro called it perfectly. The difference between second and third could be massive in these games. He tried to hang on for as long as he possibly could. Unfortunately, just could not get it done. But I will say, Twisted Minds have had a hell of a consistent day. They have consistently been top fragging, consistently in top placing.
Yeah, I mean, come on, as we look at the highlights, you can even see, I'm sure, Twisted Minds tearing it up throughout those initial games. They've already played their 4. They'll come back tomorrow. But make no mistake, Twisted Minds are insane. This was the start of the game. Zix was getting warmed up. That game 1, at least for them today, game 3 that we've seen anyways, wasn't that good. But Crims, too, started joining into the mix. They're filling themselves over at Tense, and they continue to go and go and go. Some other key stars, though, Twisted Minds, as we said, Alula, but who else started to step it up?
Izund, right? Rodrigo and them, like, they were absolutely slaying it. I mean, we were looking at their eliminations, and I mean, yes, coming in contact with some of these players you see, it was just chaos through and through. But another player, too, that surprises us was Oki.
Yeah, Oki's been playing out of his mind all day, just straight up. Had a solid game. I think it was, what, 10, 11 kills last
Yeah, something like that.
You know, and
Crazy.
this game, it wasn't just him, it was the entire roster turning up to play. Oki has been on fire. And again, bringing it back to that overarching storyline, the fact that Oki is doing this, what, post-surgery, right? I mean, it's the idea, right? Appendix is out, and he's right back in. He is playing out of his mind right now. He's got to be one of those candidates, I think, for a weekend MVP that we got to be talking about.
And how crazy was it that Prodigy right there just took down C9?
Altogether, I mean, C9 have just been not having a good go at this group so far. Entering in, Brody, you had the highlights onto this Cloud9 team, and they just haven't been able to piece it together. 0 points in the first game. They, get a couple in the second game, but starting to trickle down the ladder like we saw Alula back in their first set of games.
Yeah, this was when we started to look at Alula.
I brushed my hair because my hair was starting to look a little crazy.
I was rooting for Team Zix, of course, but you can only do so much. Top prison, the gas isn't closing. If
they shoot the leaderboard?
More money. The conversation gets interesting because there was a mobile buy on top prison. Does he get his teammate back? Maybe so. What's the impact of that? I don't know. To be honest with you, Alula already had all 3 up, so they probably still win that, but a good effort nonetheless. Second place, they'll take that. And Alula, well, at least looks stronger now going into day 2 for their
Ashley,
play, as opposed to how they started the day. So good news for Juki's fans out there, Tommy fans, of course, and Lennon.
Yeah, and it should be worth saying as well, to be fair, even though they end the day strong, I do wonder how much of an effect those early games are going to have on their final standings. Because remember, only so many teams are going to make it to the final day. So do those first 3 games damage them in any way? Sure, you can bounce back on the second day. You can have a phenomenal second day. That's what that second day is for, those adjustments. Right. But still, worth saying, those first few games, not great.
But it's about, like, kind of what I brought up earlier. You don't want to be the team to play catch-up at all. During a tournament like this, with the amount of that's on the line right now, you don't want to be in that position heading into day number 3 where you're playing catch-up because of everything that you did back on day number 2. And unfortunately, even though they come out with that win, Alula, I think they're putting themselves in that position.
Well, I'm about to pass it back to you because this one's going to feel special. It's time to crown our Sony MVP. Let's find out who it was. And as we take a look, it's Doggy from
Doggy!
I'm telling you, Dongwick, this guy is a demon. They're going into that 4th game at the top as a total team. SGP, they had 41 kills heading into this game. Doggy himself with 18, just leading the charge throughout this entire day 2 of trios. And
I love that.
I feel like there's nobody really that Dongy's worried about playing. He says that he's just ready to kind of tear it up. As soon as he gets that gun in his hand, he's ready to fight anybody that comes in his sights. And he's proving that right now, that no matter what happens, inside of the World Series of Warzone, no matter what happens.
Do they get anything for being MVP, or is it just bragging rights?
He wants to win alongside Intex and Believe. He may not have been the first choice for them, but right now he's looking like the best choice.
Absolutely the best choice. And like we said, the Sony
dang, shade to Mutex.
Or being able to do that, it's got to.
He said that Doggy was a better choice.
Well, he's going to be the second one we've crowned so far. Incredible stuff from Group A. Big wins, though, from Group A. What's the biggest win you would think?
From what?
Group A. Because now Twisted Minds, I think
Twisted
so.
Minds.
I agree.
I gotta agree.
Yeah, Twisted Minds absolutely tore.
You gotta talk about BSL.
Absolutely incredible, man. And you shouted them out. So look, I'll tell you what, Seymour, you're up here, man, and one of the first times you're covering Warzone in a long time, and I tell you what, big brained over there, brother.
I mean, like, I voted Twisted Minds. They're my team that I'm looking at to win this whole thing. I had my mind on the prize, and so did they. I think that it's incredible to see the way that they play.
All right, well, let's head over to the SDC Arena for one of our interviews with one of our great players.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SDC Arena.
Oh, with multiple of our great players.
Game number 1, Team Ism representing LATAM. First of all, congratulations on the win. We're going to go down our questions down the line here with Claudia, our translator, on the interview. First of all, Matthew, congratulations on the win. I want to ask you, walk me through that 1v1. You came in map 1, great position on the rooftop. How was that for you? What was the setup in your mind?
Bueno, primero de todo, enhorabuena por haber ganado y me gustaría que nos contaras un poquito sobre aquella batalla 1 contra 1 en el tejado, que fue muy buen posicionamiento.
Básicamente, Aison me revivió en la tienda, vi que podía caer en el techo, tenía zona, sabía que los demás iban a estar weak porque pues estaban peleando, simplemente caí y nada, los vivié y dije, GG's, ganamos.
Yeah, GG's, easy. That's all I understood.
Aison informed me that that was a good place to land. So then I saw that the opponent was in a weak position, and I definitely took the chance to then beat him there.
Definitely. So the gas was the last finisher there to win it out for you and the squad. Going the line, Rodrigo, again, congratulations. Now, it seems like you and the entire team were moving together as one unit.
Somewhere in LATAM.
Was that your game plan the whole time?
Parece que estabais todos con un equipo bastante junto todo el tiempo. Me gustaría saber si ese era el plan de juego desde el principio.
Sí, la verdad que más que nada la persona que nosotros generalmente seguimos es a Mati, pero nosotros quedamos como ese es un mapa un poco más corto, un poco más pequeño, que cualquiera que tenga una idea vayamos con él y tenemos que confiar en nuestros compañeros siempre.
We were mostly following Mati, but we were always as a very, very close team at all times.
All right, very good. And finally, down the line, Izun, you are proclaimed as the best player in Colombia. How does it feel to represent your nation here at the Esports World Cup?
Izun, te consideras el mejor jugador de Colombia. ¿Cómo se siente estar aquí representando a tu país?
Bueno, la verdad es un orgullo muy grande poder representar a mi país y no solo pues mi país, sino en general a toda Latinoamérica. Y demostrar que en Latinoamérica también hay
I do think it's amazing that they brought translators, but I'm pretty sure we saw him talk at the beginning, and he speaks really good English.
I am very proud to be representing Colombia and the whole region in general, and
she has really pretty eyes.
To prove that we can actually compete at this very, very high level.
Thank you very much, Claudia, for the translations. Thank you,
Claudia,
all of
you have
again.
very pretty eyes.
Congratulations on the win. And let's recap real quick for our Arabic viewers out there. بس لنذكركم معنا تيم إيزون الرابحين بأول خرطة هون بWarzone واللي صار انتقلنا من
Glimpsy, thank you so much for the 65 months. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. That is a very long time.
وصلنا بعدين على رودريغو سألناه إنه أنتوا بالماب عم تتحركوا كلياتكم كفريق.
All right, that was actually really cool. That was an interview
that.
in 3 languages, by the way. That's special because it is the World Cup.
Yeah, I do love that they brought in the translator.
Love the SDC Arena interviews.
It allows to give, you know, like a voice to people who can't speak English.
Number 3, they start off strong, but their plays at the end were special.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's one of the smartest plays, probably if not the smartest play I've actually seen of the entire day so far.
Wow.
Right at the end of that game number 3, unfortunately I actually didn't get a chance to talk about it after the game, but I had an eagle eye on the map, and I could just see one of those players floating in while the other fight between the other 2 teams was going down. That was actually Maddie. So just before that final circle on the final zone, right, those guys, Team Iceland, they went in towards prison all the way through tunnel, but unfortunately they all go down. Eisend, the namesake for the roster, plays his life for long enough that he can get Matty back in. Matty floats, waits for the gunfights to go down, gets himself onto the top prison, and then takes those final kills. Just an incredibly smart play.
Yeah, and it's crazy because me and Brody were kind of going back and forth on this, and I was like, no, Oki was trying to
Yeah,
fight
I
him. I'm
remember
pretty
that.
sure
There was a heated
no one
debate.
was floating, but no, Izun, King Mati, Rodrigo, they had such a good game that game, and yeah, that was such a good shout because the floaties, like, I don't even think we talked about that, how floating is important.
It's a real thing, and it's been a real thing when it comes to Resurgence. In this case, it ended up winning the game. So shout out to the floaters out there. Sometimes not doing anything at that moment is the best play. Let's take a look at our standings to
you
see
are
who's
right.
leading
You
the
are
chart,
right.
'cause I'm
They did say that at the
personally
beginning of
curious.
the
And at
day
top
during
is
their
Team
first
Iceland,
interview.
69.4. Navi just below them, and then SGP. 3 teams that have had a heavy narrative
Okay,
today.
this is good.
Yeah, and Twisted Mind's kind of falling behind there. Number
They're
5,
only 17 points
54.4
down.
Like we said, still shouldn't impact them for day number 2, but it's something to keep in mind. On
This
top
is
of that,
good.
Alula jumping up to number 8 out of the overall rankings there. They finished with 49 points. That could be a saving grace heading into day 3 as well.
This is like the
Lots of
best
big
case
changes
scenario,
towards the end for some
actually.
teams who needed it, but lots of consistency that we saw out of Group A. I think if there's anything that surprised me today, is that Group A showed up.
Group A did, in fact, show up, and Group C showed up as well with Team Zix. We've seen some great performances in Group B as a whole. I think today, all teams have kind of been performing well, and it's happy to see Destroy in 4th place. Remember, he started off Game 1 in 1st place because of the eliminations. He still is a little bit sick, but now he's back and in 4th place. That's a big performance.
Absolutely a big performance, and I mean, credits to, obviously, I mean, we saw Raul, right? Raul, one of my favorite characters.
Too.
Yeah, he literally had so many clutch plays, dude.
Yeah.
That insane buyback. What was that? I believe that last map there. That was insane. So the clutch factor, those guys have it, and I mean, man, when you got your little brother and that energy winning that game yesterday, yeah, that momentum is carrying.
Momentum, yeah, there's indeed. 3 groups.
I believe their games are done, if I'm not mistaken.
7 teams, I think, per group.
At the top, right, when it comes to
there's only 14 teams, though, out of the 21 that are going to make it to finals.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see how it's going to
We
end up
are
ending.
Group
Team 6,
B versus Group C now.
Quite some time now.
So Ben and Eddie are playing again. Just 2 maps.
Because that game right there,
this is going to be the last 2 maps of the day.
But as we do go into break, I ask you in the chat, what teams do you want to see go big from Group B and Group C?
Fnatic!
Games of the day. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will conclude day number 2 group play.
Yeah, some teams already played 4 maps. All the teams above Fnatic have played 4 maps. And they're only 17 points behind. Now, this isn't going to be a big deal as long as Fnatic have a good game. We need the boys to come in hot. Toyota.
البداية عاشت معنا كنا نحسبها وقت للتسلية بس نحسبها بس ذكريات
عبود أعطي أختك اليد يا ولد
ابتكرنا فيها ابتكارات وإذا بغينا قلبناها خرافات
No, so all of the points will reset to 0 in finals.
وسهرات
But the points from today stack to the points for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they combine both days.
عالم كبر وعاش فينا عالم الحماس فيه يوصلك كل مرة لحلم أصعب بس ما يصعب عليك بارد معك وين ما تروح
And welcome back, everyone, to the Esports World Cup Call of Duty Warzone. This is day 2, and we're coming down to our last 2 maps of the day.
No,
Groups B and C about to face off against each other.
They didn't respin.
Before we get into that conversation too deep, let's once again recap Group A, who have finished their 4 games of the day. Alula finally waking up right. Excited to see how they're going to perform tomorrow, carrying that energy from their last game. They ended up taking the win. But let's also talk Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds, a team that, well, played very, very well. And then before we actually start that conversation, why don't we actually go over to the STC Arena and talk to Aiden from Twisted Minds.
What's up, guys? Puggy here on the 4 with the one and only Aiden. Now, Aiden, I gotta say, you are looking clean in this Twisted Minds jersey. Your teammates looking ferocious on the map. You're done for the day.
Hey,
day 1 in the books.
Hello, my good boy.
Our games were kind of average. You know, I have high expectations for us. I think we could play a lot better. We had one good game where we won, but honestly, the way I'm looking at it is these group stages are kind of like practice. I mean, I'm definitely confident we're going to get top 14. So as long as we can correct these mistakes by the finals, you know, that's kind of the goal.
So if you're just tuning in, we have 21 teams. Top 14 move on to the finals. That's where the money is being distributed. So let's talk a little bit how you're going to climb this leaderboard. What are the expectations for tomorrow, and what teams do you need to look out for?
Tomorrow tonight we'll probably talk about, you know, our mistakes, what we did wrong, see if we can correct any stuff. I think the things that we did wrong were kind of obvious, so I think there'll be some easy corrections. Teams, we're not really worried about anyone. We're just playing our game no matter who we're playing against. So we're just gonna do our thing and just fry tomorrow.
Now, I know you get a lot of time playing against the NA competition. Yeah. What is it like here on the global scale? You're playing against some of the best around the planet. Anyone standing out today or shocking you with their performance?
Not really. I think NA on top.
NA on top. We just saw Hamoud and crew put up some big points. They're trying to catch up. We'll find out if they can. Best of luck, Aiden.
Thanks. I got stuff in my hand. Sorry.
Great guy. Great guy, this Aiden. Love him. Love him. Follow his Twitch. Follow his YouTube. You're going to love him, too.
Well, there's Aiden, NA on top. It is the 4th of July after all. We're sorry, Brody, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, my brother.
Let it happen once, just once. You said it's Independence Day, it's the 4th of July. You know what, I'll let the Americans have it just this once.
Thank you very much, and we'll keep taking it. You don't even have to give it to us, okay? Hey, Aiden, a great player.
We're in first, but now some of the teams have 2 more maps on them, Moiki, so they dropped down to 5th, but they're only 17 points down with 2 more maps to play. So they should catch up here.
My mind is just a little twisted right now, and I know exactly who to vote for, but I like that Aiden, after all the success that they found today, is still saying it was an average day for them. I think that says a lot about their mindset coming in towards this tournament. You know, you were mentioning that Z-Smith, he's really hard focused on the IGL role, and right now they're holding themselves to a standard that even they have not met today. So
if they keep playing at the same level that they have been playing today, they will finish the day in first.
Even more than that still.
Yeah, they're shooting for a lot more, and like you said, holding themselves to a higher standard. That's for good reason, because Aiden knows what it takes to be competitive. Tommy knows what it takes to be competitive. You know, other veterans know what it takes, but Aiden for sure, like, he knows, like, I need to be at the top of the food chain. He wants to be there, and he has been there. So for him, right now, he wants a bit more. He knows it's not over with. They still need to make top 14 and then take the championship.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that, where that comes from Aiden, at least, like, it's just like, man, those late game moments.
That's what I said. Really that's legit what I said, Rogers. Like, if they win their initial, like, they're flying.
Moments, like, even,
but if they lose it, like, it's chalked.
Solos yesterday, right? Like, there's so many situations where they could have come out on top of that, like, being too overly critical, but also knowing, hey, I can do this better. That's very smart and humble for them to at least recognize that.
And they recognize the fact that they can always get better. And I love that. And you know that as a competitor yourself. And we've seen that throughout the history of esports.
Literally, literally Silver. They did a little bit on the last game.
All of these games played on one day. We are going to see a break tonight. These players, they're going to go back to the hotel rooms. They're going to be like, look, this is where we went drastically wrong in day number 1. We fixed up on those issues, and we're going to be good going into day number 2. To be honest, I really don't think Twisted Minds really need to change all that much. I think, Dream, you kind of got it right with just saying about kind of the late game plays, closing the games out. We know
enjoy your July 4th.
Game number 2, but beyond that, again, just getting that consistently down. Twisted Minds might be walking away with one of the highest seeds out of this group stage of finals.
They very well could, which would be special for them. I know Juki's, it would be a tremendous thing. FIFA's also watching from home, and I know he's cheering his current teammate, I should say, for World Series of Warzone. Alula, right? They've been a big narrative.
He's
on
feeling
the desk
good.
here.
He's
They
really
are
happy with
done
their
for
last
the day,
game,
as
which
they
I
were
think like helps the
finished
morale.
off in 9th place, looking to do better tomorrow. They did, in fact, do better, though, on their 4th game, taking the W. Let's tune in with Barney at the STC Arena with Alula.
Welcome back to the STC Arena. I'm joined by the 3 members of Al Ula. I've got Tommy, Jukis, and Lennon over here. Tommy, I'm going to come to you first, because a lot of the people, a lot of the casters, the analysts, they've all been stressing, especially on Resurgence, Rebirth, you know, the importance of the anchor role, right? You're kind of doing that for this team. How has it been? Have you felt like any additional pressure coming into this because of that anchor role being so important?
I wouldn't say I found any additional pressure on it. It's not something I usually do, but it's pretty simple. Any top player can really do it. So I trust any of these guys to do the same role, but it's just one of them ones that you need in Resurgence, because if you want 2 people to fight to pick up the kills, you need to be staying alive, just getting the loot in so you can get their spawn timer down. But it's a vital role in this. It sucks a little bit having to do it, like for anyone, because you all want to be running around killing, but no, it's fine.
If they want anyone to do it, Tommy's the man to do it. It's all right, man. You got this. Lennon, I'm going to come to you next, mate.
Facts. It is definitely a boring role for sure.
How the last LAN event you guys had was London. It was last year. Like there's few and far between. How important is it to you guys to ensure that you guys compete against everyone face to face, in person? How different is it?
I think it's more real. You realise that you're here with everyone that's playing that you've been playing against like for what years? 4 years now since Verdansk. So it's more real, but it's pretty much just the same as it usually will be. But yeah.
Now, Jukis, I'm gonna come to you, mate. Let's talk about the end of the game, right? Let's talk about the end of map 4. So I feel like a very important thing that a lot of people are mentioning is patience. Patience has been vital, especially in a map as chaotic as Resurgence, Rebirth. Talk us through the final moments of that map, because you guys showed a lot of it down, because you didn't have high ground, you were in a bit of a sticky situation, but you had numbers.
Yeah, exactly. We had numbers. We done well to link up and actually get control of the building down low, which was in the zone at the, as we went. Again, now what opened it up and we knew we could actually win this was when I noticed that the goal. Garcia called the play, Tommy gave the go ahead. I went to do it. Someone challenged. Tommy got the knock, allowed me to climb up, get the fall, and then there's another guy there, got that kill, and allowed my teammates to come up, and then that was it. Then we took
he was significantly like shorter than I thought he was gonna be when I met him.
And then obviously these 2 are good enough players to know that if I do try and make a play, someone's gonna try and challenge, and then therefore they can open it up for me and for themselves. So that's exactly what happened, yeah.
And there you go, map 4. Jukis, we actually share something in common. We've got little ones at home. They might not be watching it because it might be past their bedtime. Is there anything you'd like to say to your little one, mate?
Oh, God, I don't know. I hope he has sweet dreams, you know. I miss him. I wish I could give him a hug and a cuddle, to be honest. But yeah, he probably doesn't understand me, you know. He only understands hugs and cuddles, so, you know, I wish I could give him some, but I'll see when I get back after I win this mill.
Nice! A bit of tenderness over here on the stage never goes amiss. Same to my little one as well. I miss you loads. Now for you guys, thank you so much, Alula. I really hope you guys play extremely well tomorrow, and we hope to see you in the finals as well. But for now, we're going to go back to the studio to carry on. Day number 1 of the group stage.
Well, there's Alula talking. Lennon said, hey, it feels
Rogers.
a little bit more real, right? We've been playing against these guys. Now we're here in person, and things, well, they feel great, and it must feel
no,
great.
Eddie's not as short as everybody like makes it
day 2 group play
theme.
Even stronger, and I'm hoping
there's a lot of people in this community that are shorter than him.
Final game of the day. Group B is about to be introduced. They're coming back in real quick. A discussion though. Obviously, Fnatic were looking great. Now they're coming back into the play. Icons also a big impact team, looking to make a big impact. Just real quick, Seymour, is that the biggest team, Team Icons?
I mean, you have to talk Vamos, Team Icons right now. They are turning up in Group B. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, though. Falcons, they need to turn up eventually. We haven't seen them just yet. They don't have to worry about BSL this time, and they have to worry about Group C this time. So I wonder if they can catch their groove.
I wonder if they can. There it is, B and C, the final 2 maps of the day. That'll make 6 in total. Cloud9 definitely need to improve to a team that I'm going to be looking closely at. Hopefully they can avoid that tent over by Prison. But it seems like we're getting ready to go. Let's head over to the STC Arena and introduce Group B.
Welcome back, everybody, to the STC Arena. And yes, our action continues. But a bit of a recap before we get into more of those meat and potatoes that we said earlier on in the day. Our 4 winners so far in our 4 matches: BSL, Twisted Minds, Izund, and Al-Ula. And so our standings, Barney, they look as so. Our top 3 are Izund,
The expensive
Navi,
frisbee.
and SGP Syndicate, but they're all from Group A.
Surely everybody gets one, right?
The fact that groups B and C
Or would it be Fnatic that would get it?
Got 2 matches
Probably
left
Fnatic.
to round out day 1 of the group stage. And I know you might be thinking to yourself at home, but it's only day 1. It doesn't really matter. These points carry over. This could be the difference maker between you getting into the finals and not. So we need to hype up these teams. Our Falcons going to make a late stage surge. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled on the screen. Don't go anywhere. Grab the popcorn because it's going to get spicy. Back to the studio to go into our final maps of the day.
We are about ready to go as...
I have an Apple Watch, but I don't use it, but I should use
We're also
it.
ready to go.
We're also ready to go.
And here, the interesting thing, and I didn't think that the host put it out pretty perfectly here,
Wrong
is
right
that
there.
everything at the top of the leaderboard is currently Group
You're
A.
so
We have a lot of heavy hitters that have really shown some surprise for what we had in Group B, now returning to the stage again.
Yeah, we got a couple. One I want to shout out. You got to shout out the Brazilians' new icons. They are going crazy on social media. Hashtag Vamos Icons. They are getting
Vamos,
loud.
vamos.
They just want nothing more than to bring recognition to Brazil. And it kind of opens up this conversation, something that you and I were having, right? I know Aiden said, you know, we're on a global stage, no one's really here, but I feel like the one thing I'm witnessing when I'm looking at the standings is we're seeing a lot of these international teams. For lack of a better word, they be shooting.
The LATAM teams, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you put them on land, you say, my ping is as long as it takes for me to get to you, and all of a sudden, these guys are frying.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about it was, even after the solo stage, I don't think our temperature changed much on the Latin American squads. Not really anything in particular that stood out in terms of, whoa, hold on a second. But you put them all together, and the collective force of teams like Izun, and here again with the new icons, is looking mighty fine.
Yeah, I definitely think it's really, really cool that we're seeing maybe some of these teams that a lot of people were not expecting have come on in here and are really showing out. But on the flip side, Shift, we have a couple teams that I think are a little bit scary that they are at the bottom of our board here, and that's what makes me a little bit worried.
Right.
You can see on our total leaderboard here. Listen, I've been hyping them up on social media all week long, but we got to talk about it. Cloud9 currently sitting in 19th. What has me worried here, Shift, I'm seeing Jace. Well, he's maybe had some donuts that we saw at
Wow.
breakfast today.
They had
He's
10 points in 2 maps, Cloud9.
Something's just not clicking today.
Same thing with AG Global. You've got Castillo, same thing, Anaguse.
Castillo has
our two
6
squads that we
points?
kind of looked at as possibly being major threats when we get into the collective group stage have not been able to provide much, at least as of yet. So that has to change here, because looking at the metrics,
What?
you know, overall, the middle bar that Group A set was sitting at about 57.6 total points. That puts you kind of, at the moment, in the top half. But I think the thing about that is Group A really impressed. I mean, they're dealing with that worst in average placing of top 8. So they're getting good placements, they're getting good kills, and at the moment, the bottom half of both Group B and Group C are really lacking behind.
Yeah, and I love that you bring up the average placement too, because I feel like what that kind of tells us a story is like, you're basically, all of the teams are at least getting to that top half. So if you are any of these squads, you are looking to do the same. But let's turn up the heat, folks. Last 2 maps here of the Esports World Cup day.
Let's get it.
2.
Let's get
Looking
it.
to get it started. We brought in a new group, some revitalization in the lobby here. Shift, I think it's about time we get loud.
I don't even think it's just a revitalization in the lobby. It's a revitalization in the venue, because the Falcons are back on stage, and you can hear the crowd already trying to inject some extra energy their way. They did fine, let's be honest. Kills are decent across the board.
Okay, they're dark blue this time, chat.
Improve upon what we consider to be the weakest of the 3 groups in Group C. Just comes down to, will that actually matter? Because, again, we've been surprised.
Okay, so they're going to be contested by JTech here.
Already kicking it off. Breadman finding
There we go.
Rip. So we saw Breadman go down pretty early on in that last game before the break. C9 not going to let it happen here again. Already kind of sitting around here towards that side of the map. But over at Chemical, it's looking to already get mixy right off the drop.
Yeah, 3 different squads essentially here. Vitality are
I'm not running a delay, no, but they might be running a delay.
New icons. Get a good read. Huskers nearby.
There actually probably is a delay.
Steve-O actually makes his presence known, so an extra
1 or 2 minutes probably from the actual live.
Straight up already to new icons.
Yeah, and I really like this on the other side of that. AB Wiz, you're kind of holding this regain spot. You are right outside this sort of area of the map. You know that C9 is
yeah, so
nearby.
nice. Yeah, so they're fighting
But you
JTech's
have
team.
enough space that you can back up if you need to, and that's exactly.
I don't want to spoil anything for myself.
A little bit of respect going
Oh,
down
JTech just two-pieced them.
You don't need to push this early on, but as I look towards the kill feed, we are seeing something happen right now between Team Omit and Fnatic.
And Almond has been that guy. Yeah. He was that guy yesterday, really helped Fnatic hold on to a decent seed, and right there, it looks like he just bailed his team out of a really difficult situation as Atlas trying to follow up. Uzi in hand, just whatever he could find to shoot with, and it works out for at least an initial down. Help is on the way by 4 and Jace, but he cannot get here in time, so the down gets reaffirmed.
Yo, and Jace are down. Brad better start running.
A little bit tough there. Wars at range, just kind of jumping on in, like you said. More sniper rifle, maybe you get a wall bang quickscope coming on out of that. Oki holding this shed, getting some great damage. Prodigy finally will go from an angle. Brings them
Brad's about to die.
Player with the loadout in
Yeah, he has a team above him.
Leading to a lot of success.
Oh no.
Keep your eye
They're gonna get wiped.
That is guilt from
Oh.
the high ground.
Okay, one of them got revived right before.
And it looks like with the elimination onto another Cloud9 member, they're trying to get full control over through this backside area, and they have actually pushed off Abwiz and Co. So again, that little vying for position early on the coastline starting to come through.
Well, in their classic position, you got Team Falcons down here at the stronghold. Biffle does find a recon drone, and that should give them some solid information on where this other team is kind of sitting around there. So might be able to give them what they need to start making
Skull's about to die.
Start getting some early eliminations. But on top of Prison, look who's still battling it out. It's Fnatic and Gaming Gladiators, as Noobs will be able to bring down Huskers, but it's a little bit of a trade right now, and we're seeing a disengagement.
Yeah, Brolic falling off right there. Essentially, you have to commit to saying no more action here. Speaking of action, by the way, we really gave a lot of credit to Team Zizix, who had a really tough opening drop last map versus Na'Vi. They were in another difficult pickle again. This time, though, they do get really brought back towards what we expected to see versus Na'Vi. They are already eliminated out. So not a great start for them, kind of following off the success they had from the second place finish in their last drop.
Well, and Heretics, they last time we saw them in the lobby, they were feeling themselves. They were doing pretty solid.
It's a reload.
Back over here at control, we're seeing Daga doing a great job, kind of just holding this opening.
Oh!
As we come on over, a little bit of a quick scope there on the Clapper, brings him on down. And I love you immediately go on up. You try to take the fight on top, but Zakar is there.
Why would he chell it like that?
Not today. Slams him on down.
That's a huge save from Zakar. Legitimately, they were in more than dire straits. Clapper still trying to get his feet underneath them. Not going to work out, but again,
they cannot
right
get
there.
fools.
So
Holy.
Sick will go back to the respawn in cams. Now has to wait for Daga to come back in off the parachute.
And this is, I don't know what it is about control, but we are just seeing some farming happening.
This was a very risky res.
Find the full and then take down Zakar. Finally,
oh
it looks
my
like
God.
The battle for control going to the Heretics.
Yeah, and they need that regain really badly. Daga coming off of the respawn method's the same thing. As we head on over to a different point of view, Shifty in a little bit of trouble here. An awkward 1v1 that he will back off of, at least for a moment. Find someone else to take shots at.
Oh, JTech and them are about to get wiped.
Should be confirmed for the kill, no worries, and that will get Shifty a second kill.
And I love if you kind of look at this mini-map in your upper left-hand corner, what you can see here. You can see Shifty is kind of moving around the map by himself as part of that team. Falcon Soka's kind of coming back on in. Biffle playing it a little bit safe just to ensure that his Soka came back on into the mix. So while sort of Biffle's playing his life, making sure he's staying online, Shifty not afraid to get aggro as he's made his way over towards Factory. Might be able to...
there's like 3 teams around them.
Another team that, again, is sitting kind of at the bottom of Group C. They could
There's Huskers team, Jace's team, and one more. I don't remember. Wars.
Themselves as part of the conversation. Find a little bit more breathing room before we enter into day number 2. Amit also in some trouble here. Tenix is trying to swim to the bottom of the ocean, and he's found.
I cannot believe that this team is still alive. Like, they did a really good job at regaining.
Eventually, brother.
Yeah, eventually you have to be able to get up here. But maybe some pistol shots from underneath. Maybe can connect.
If I'm Tenix, I'm so petty that I intentionally kill myself.
Say, no, I'm not giving this up. The amount of time I spent trying to make sure
Huskers is wiped.
Is worth it because
Skull is down.
So much space on the map, but look at this. Tenix, he's bobbing and weaving. The smoke comes out from Rocket. He's got to disengage.
It didn't look like Rocket had any more plates left. So now all of a sudden, Tenix is going to be able to get onto dry land. has an opportunity to look at a weapon. No!
Oh my god, I thought he did it to him. I thought he did it to
You
him.
almost got put on Reddit, my guy, but at least able to snap back, take care of 10x, and we'll finish off elimination. But all this
Nice
has
shots
been
out of
heard,
Shifty,
and
wow.
Here come the Falcons trying to swoop in, but so are Onyx Raven right over the top of this. They're trying to fight over the top side of this backside ship.
If you're the Onyx Ravens, though, you got to have a plan for how you want to take this fight. It's not enough to just start flying on in. Mojo, he's going to land deep. An armor crack from Shifty is there, but that basically just makes their presence known and says you do not need to come on over here. But look at sort of the positioning right now. That's
I was
what
like,
I
oh my
love
god,
to
did
see.
the lobby drop?
Keeping a lot.
That would have been
Back on
crazy.
over, sort of to this other side of the map. Guild, they're looking to still get involved in the same area.
They are in the mix
Team
right now.
Yeah, and Abwiz's squad, again, is right up at the top in terms of how they've started things off. Prodigy in some trouble backside staircase.
Let's go, Benjamin!
And Vision will fall. Abwiz able to secure the knock and also the elimination. AJ also in trouble at range.
Oh my god, and War? War's gonna die to Ben?
He's down to Wars. He's down to a single bullet. Can't get away. Elo's able to find it, and that's the end of Guild.
Oh.
I just keep looking at this kill feed, and I am seeing Team Omit kind of just every sort of 30 seconds, more and more eliminations on there. And they are wiping some very, very good squads while they are doing it.
And he's
As we are
down.
getting here, we're at the end of circle zone number 2,
Yes.
and we still have 11 teams up. We're missing 3 in this lobby. So players, seems like now, maybe kind of getting back on in, getting a little bit more aggressive, getting a little bit more loose.
And this is where you start to see possibly Falcons step into the conversation a touch. This is where they usually do well right before that respawn timer comes to an end. But Fnatic, you look at their position, they're very comfortable.
Does
Now,
Ben
I will
have
say
a
they will to
self-revive?
rotate
I
out
don't
of this
think
spot
so.
Eventually, but for the moment, and until zone number 3 closes, they could just hang on to this entire side of the circle. The next closest team would be
Yeah,
number
there's
3
like
and
nobody
Falcons
on
just down to
them.
their bottom right.
Yeah, I mean, if they kind of position themselves great, you maybe could take out the Falcons, but, you know, or you can just kind of hang out here, wait for the zone to close on in. You can fly towards top prison, kind of maintain that height throughout the map. We'll have to wait and see. As you can see, the Falcons already over here towards Factory. They're hot on the move, though. They see Castillo in the sky.
GG's,
Shots coming in.
Castillo. You're out of here,
26
buddy.
for Biffle, as he is able to bring down Castillo. Will get confirmed. That's going to be AG Global, only with 2 players left.
Yeah, that's just that is so tough. If you look back over what happened with Guild,
Oh.
again, it looked like they were off to a really solid start. I mean, the kills were incredibly well
Oh,
put
that was a
together.
replay.
had
They
10
gotta stop
total
doing
before
that. That's
being eliminated,
confusing
but
as heck.
Again, no placement multiplier. That's going to feel like a major missed opportunity. Maybe just overstepping their bounds just a touch.
Well, you know, even for a team like that, though,
Nice,
even if 10 is your worst, maybe you're okay with that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like if that's your bad game, hey,
Come
that's
on,
better than
Eddie,
a lot
chase
of
him
people
down,
putting
chase
up
him
over the
down,
course
Eddie.
of, you know, their entire group stages that is there. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously not how you want to go
There we
out.
go.
Maybe a couple little
They pretty much
changes
claimed
there.
the roof
If you
again.
Plan, you're feeling a lot better. But back over here on Prison, it is a party. As we got about 4 different
It's a
teams
party
coming
in the
back.
Moment again, Team Abwiz continue to impress. Prodigy able to deal with Nenu's, at least for the time being. Vitality been quiet to this point.
The fact that AB Wiz and them have survived in this area for so long, like this area is wide open. I'm shocked.
Are also do Icons and Patsuka does get a read, plus the Beamer help from Exian. Gets them into a fighting form to also just kind of hold on to this building. They're on the hunt for Lucanas.
I mean, I love it. Patsuka, he's known as the shooter for this team, but look who's laying in wait. It's Lucanas. You said they were trying to find him. Lucanas, though, he's able to grab one,
Dang.
but unfortunately, Exian not going to let that 2v1 happen here today. Flies on in, able to make that trade. A really sort of kind
Eddie's
of
team
nice
is
way to stay
getting
alive. Keep your
flanked
team in it
by
if you are
whoever
Team
Pink
Vitality.
is.
Squad 14 will be eliminated, as we saw kind of in the kill feed just underneath the minimap. That is the Onyx Raven squad. So another one bites the dust right before we start to get this next circle closing deeper and deeper as we will head over mostly into the industry's location.
Patsuka and them are dead.
Hisoka finding themselves in the kill feed. They have eliminated out our top team, at least currently.
Hey, we
in terms of
want,
total
again,
kills.
we
That
want
was
Ben's team to get at
Vitality
least
that gets taken down.
8th
And so now
place
Falcons
here.
look like they're possibly
Get
looking down
Castillo
the middle
out.
of the
Get
map.
Castillo out, and you guys
On the
get
other side of the
8th.
map, still top Prison, playing this late side of zone. Fnatic.
Oh
See some
no,
nades
there's
coming out
two.
on
There's two teams.
Castillo, as Almond
There's-
hops on up. Some
Oh my god, I
shots
thought I just
coming.
swallowed a bug right there.
Causes him to have to back on up.
Benjamin,
but
thank you so
I don't
much
know,
for the
if you're
16
Fnatic, Maybe
months.
want to play around Almond just a little bit more. You're up here, but it's very obvious somebody has your number. They know that you're sitting up top here. The
That
rest
is
of
a
AG Global
sketch.
is down below. Almond, he'll kind of take the opportunity, though, to move
Nice
on out.
goal!
Skullface also still up here. Some good shots onto Castillo. Can
That should
he be
kill
able to
him.
confirm with the Semtex?
No!
Does it land? Doesn't look like it. Castillo staying alive.
Castillo's by himself, though.
At least some high ground superiority reaffirmed here for Fnatic, getting into the next circle. You can see all the amount of teams that are going to be vying for position inside the prison block, though. And Amit, just on the outside, kind of just tucked in a corner. I mean, legitimately, right between about 3 different squads, but they're just playing for position right now.
Goldface just killed Redman.
Is what they want to try to do.
And I actually really like this spot, right? You can catch a lot of teams
Redman's team
that
is
are trying to
wiped.
sort of fly around
8th
here,
place.
right? That maybe are not expecting somebody or even 2 of you to just be laying in wait. And even if somebody does slide in, you got that 3rd player up on top who maybe can kind of create a little bit of a sandwich. So, and as the zone kind of moves here on our minimap that you can see, that's a great spot to already be able to set up on.
And there's a lot of space inside the circle. It's just Heretics currently in. Up to their northeast, Falcons will have a pretty easy rotation into the high ground of Industries, and then over to the northwest, Abwa's squad still fully healthy.
Yeah, they're looking for the little water tower.
Where you see Team Fnatic trying to
There's nobody
rotate
there.
through is where all the action's going to come out. You've got AG Global still underneath, plus also a look over at least at range to where Abwa's team is
we're just jumping like that?
And I love this. Almond immediately, he kind of
Whoa,
takes that
I
first
don't like
shot,
this.
says,
Whoa,
I don't
whoa,
need to stay
whoa,
up
whoa,
here.
whoa,
Gonna
whoa,
take Mountain here,
whoa.
use it to drop on down. Trying to maybe
Yeah.
hold the wall here. Don't need to sit out here for too long, but hey, Omit, I said they can maybe find some people on the rotation, and they are. Castillo taken on out. They are looking for more. Everybody slowly but surely trying to march on into zone.
And this mortar strike is
No,
really
I'm not talking about jumping off the wall. I was talking about that rotation. That original rotation they were trying to take was.
May not work out right
Whoa,
here for
whoa.
Fnatic. They knew
That
there
was a
rotation,
bad
but the
rotation.
smoke plus the mortar strike may have deterred them from finding the action that they want. So now they're on just opposite sides of the wall, and you can see the team down low as Heretic still hanging on as the zone starts to get really tight here. We're still full 7 teams up.
That's what has me worried if you are Team AB Wiz. Maybe you push out, you start taking this fight against Fnatic. It doesn't look good, so you say, hey, we're going to fly out the back, but Heretics is going to be laying in wait. You have to make this play
Soka and them are in a really good
smart.
spot.
Falcons, on the other hand, they're willing to just kind of start making their way on in. They've cut out a lot of this zone. They know where
Eddie
some
got
of
the
these
pick.
teams are.
Or,
They
I
can
mean,
put
Eddie got
themselves
the
in some
pick.
power positions.
Let's go.
In a little bit of
Let's
trouble.
go.
Zakar able to
3v1.
back up.
Nobody
The
went down in that
side, we're gonna be
fight.
Playing this one essentially 1v multiple. Here come Falcons around the outside, but a bit does get taken down, stuck in that corner like we saw. They never were able to rotate away.
Eddie
now
went
you go
down.
back over to Falcons as they are still winning this zone. Plus look at the
Nice,
rotation.
Ben. Good trade.
They're gonna
Good
have
trade.
the ability to hold on to this while this thing starts to move their direction.
This is scary. If you are the Falcons, you are feeling good right now. You're starting to see some of those shots come
Eddie's
on
dead.
in. Prodigy will get taken on out. AB Wiz deleted, but Guzamir is going huge in the kill feed.
Nice. They bought Eddie back.
Will get taken on out. We're into the top 5.
The Vamos can go a multitude of ways with squads.
Let's go,
that are still
Skull.
alive,
Good
although
stuff.
They will drop out.
This is going to be Almond versus Soka.
Falcons members who now all of a sudden the Falcons have complete idea of where Fnatic is. It's just right above them, but they can't find shots and damage through the grates of the floorboard. And that's enough for another knock. Just one more to grab, and it's right above Biffle. And I think they're very aware that, yep, we have full control of where this next zone's going to be.
It is just Fnatic
God.
scrambling
Soka and Ben
on this water tower.
somehow stayed
Skullface
alive.
has managed to find the one piece of cover that you can't wallbang through. Well, that's a tilt. It's just your face a little bit through the grate. Biffle trying to make his way left and right around. Maybe they can find it. Shifty will take down Almond as the Falcons are looking to close
They got 3rd
out
place.
this game
All
in
good.
this first stage cruise.
What a resurgence, no pun intended, back into the map for Team Falcons. The kill tally is high as it's just Clapper left, and he's making this really nasty, I'm not gonna lie. He's going to be able to tally another elimination onto Biffle. Clapper still in good fighting form here. He's got Thermites to deal with. Hold on a second. He can make this a mess.
I like this a lot. Clapper doing whatever he can to stay alive.
Yeah, he should just
I don't
die
know
here.
if you try and 2v1 this, or is he just going to maybe say, all right, I'm staying up here. I'm in gas.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not going to give the Falcons this. But PDS is in. You can see Shifty and Soka. They're looking on up. He actually might be able to win them in a heal-off.
This is doable. Wait, surely not. No, Shifty's not going to allow him to get away with this.
Wait.
He's got another PDS, buddy.
Okay.
He's got another one.
Wait.
Hold on a second. I think Clapper heard the initial, and Biffle's going to get knocked. No way he pulls this off.
2v1. Still staying down below, but they have a PDS as well. Shifty able to do it, but it's going to be Hisoka.
Oh my God, he almost did it.
You can see
He
they're
almost
excited.
did
the crowd's
it.
excited for them. The hometown team come back on it. Soka with the point. Team Falcons, they are alive.
And now it's time to showboat a little bit for the home crowd. Get a little bit of extra jazz in the arena. Yeah, that's a big one, though. Again, we talked about it, you know.
No, he played that
yesterday.
so good.
They were meant to lose. And, well, after the first day, I think we're all sitting here like, whoa, hold on a second, guys. I mean, they still put together a decent seed, but they find themselves in this very difficult Group B. But that feels like the Falcons we came to know.
And I feel like, you know, we kind of heard all of these sort of storylines where they said, you know, we're walking around, everybody's Team Falcons, heck yeah, you know, giving them fist bumps, saying we're really excited to watch you. I know that's a team, the fact that they can win a map, stand up, look at the crowd, and have most of the crowd cheering them on, that's dangerous. You do not want this team to have confidence in a lobby like this.
Well over 20 kills for the full squad. Not all 3 surviving to see the win screen, but, I mean, let's be honest, that's not bad whatsoever, and that's going to absolutely
that was crazy.
The leaderboard. But on the other
Third place is still really good. This is good. This is really good. And they had decent kills as well.
Right there at the end, plus
so that was definitely a good game for them.
Team Vision that desperately needed some points.
Yeah, they definitely needed that.
Because they are about
he's in the 1.7 multiplier. So
20 points ahead of Biffle's team prior to this game. So
3 or 4 point area, that could be the make or break moment on are you going to be in that top 14, making it to our
They had a lot of kills though, Shifty and them. They had a really good game right there.
We saw Zakar saving lives early, so he tallied a handful of kills, and the same can be said for Rocket there at the end, having those little 1v1s over towards the water that he's able to find a couple extra kills. So yeah, that multiplier will definitely help out Vision getting back into the conversation just a touch.
Birdman and them need a really good game here.
Group A was, I think, higher than we would have expected. 57 plus points is getting you halfway through that group. So if that gets matched, wow, it would feel really bad to come away with like 50, 54 points and still be at the bottom half of our overall group stage of the first day.
Definitely agree, but wow, what a great game number 1 of this Group B versus C. Team Falcons, they're coming back on the map. They are winning that game. It's feeling great. We kind of heard those Team Falcons chants coming alive yet again right before we come back to us. I love how loud this arena is getting for this squad.
And let's be honest, that's like our first normal game.
Yeah.
In terms of like our expectations actually kind of coming to life. Of course, there's still lots to go through in terms of where everyone finished off, and I know the desk was definitely in the nitty-gritty, trying to track every little thing that happened. So we head back to Reflections and the gang to break everything down here for map number 5.
Yes, the Falcons are flying high for the first time. And like you said, Shift, it's like, oh, things are finally playing how we thought they would play when we first entered the tournament. Good job from the Falcons. But first, before we get even into that conversation, Clapper popping off. Top 4 makes it top 2. This man looked unstoppable.
Yeah, you know what's funny is at that point in the game, right, where you see him kind of just playing his life, playing all silent like while Fnatic and Falcons were going at it, we were like, look, he's just playing for second right now. He's just chilling like a villain. He's just hoping that he can get that multiplier. And then he actually figures, you know what? I actually might have a shot at this one. A couple of PDSs to keep himself in the game. Honestly, if those rebuys do not come through towards the end of the game, if the money is not there for Falcons,
that's right.
There is
I actually think, he won that.
Clapper is able to pull this one off. Here's a look at it once again. You know, that high ground for a Clapper. It's such a massive problem for Falcons. They're so concentrated on Fnatic in the final play. They never expect them to be here.
Yeah, once they cleared out the ground, right, Seymour, you look at Clapper, and at this point I'm thinking he's got a real chance here, but he had to go challenge his own.
Second
it's
overall?
Funny too, because you see that they're all feeding into him too. It's really typical that Clapper gets 2 extra kills there. Biffle falling into the second one is just adding on to the points of that placement that he's getting for his team.
How many kills did they have?
In all honesty, when they were rotating in, I didn't think they were in the best position.
And he had 20 points on them.
Grace there. You saw even Rocket was in a bad spot in between all those teams. So Falcons almost
forced 50 points
into a bad placement, but Clapper coming out the saving grace there. That is a huge moment.
Well, it's so cool because I know we were actually on a sideline talking about
Good for
Rocket.
them.
Where's Team Rocket? Why haven't we talked about Team Rocket? Well, now we just did, and we're going to talk about them again, I'm sure, in the next game. But let's focus our attention to Falcons, and more specifically, Shifty to start off. Shifty, last time I checked, was sitting at 8 eliminations. I believe he maybe even got up to 9 potentially. I want to say 14. I don't even know what his Hisoka was at. But Shifty makes it happen, and such a great player, an intense player. On the battlefield, you don't want to meet against him.
He's just such a heads-up player, right? And again, this is going back to the play that we were talking about this morning from yesterday in the solo stage. He's just constantly on it, right? Shifty knows exactly where he needs to be at all times. Does he need to be playing with his teammates? Does he need to be making those solo heads-up plays? This is one of those, right? Again, redeploy comes in for Biffle. Just a second later, Shifty knows he needs to pick up that kill. It's exactly what he does. But, I mean, how much more do we need to talk about Shifty at this point? This guy is an absolute beast going back towards global finals last year. If you've even watched a little bit of Warzone over the last year, you guys know what Shifty's capable of.
Well, let's talk about
sometimes and sometimes
You actually had a chance to talk to Shifty quite a bit on the bus right back to the hotel yesterday. But on top of that as well, Falcons, they were pretty much non-existent yesterday in solo. A lot of questions were on them, right? And even today, they kind of start off a little bit slower, right? Top eight, now all of a sudden, they're #1.
I've been kind of against the crowd today, and I feel bad. I've been giving them a lot of flack, but I think that it was rightful because they're not meeting the expectations that we were kind of expecting from that Falcons team, but we finally get a little bit of a resurgence for them here in those last moments. They played very controlled in their rotation as well as we're looking through these highlights. And I think for Falcons, the one thing you can always trust, and we saw it last year in the global finals for a couple of these players, Shifty and Biffle in particular, is that you can always expect them to just play consistent no matter what, and they're going to show up eventually, and here they are.
Yeah, here they are. And one thing I want to talk about here in just a second, I wonder if we're going to see it in the highlight package. I really hope we do. And it really just goes to show how smart Falcons are of a team. It was a late rotation right at the end of the game. They third-party a couple of teams. It's the entire reason they're able to get to the position they are to win the game, to get onto the water tower. It's just such a smart play, and it's emblematic of just how good of a team, how experienced the Falcons roster are. And it has to be here in just a second, right? And I think this is actually it right about here, right? Yeah, Biffle, Shifty, they win all these gunfights. They third-party on towards Team Vision. They remove a couple of players from the play. Just able to get in a position and really shock players like that is huge.
And this is also where we start to see Clapper by himself. You notice Sakar, Rocket were trying to do everything in their power to stay alive, but then Clapper ended up being the last one up. Biffle, though, was giving hell to Skullface, who was trying to stay alive, and then you also had Skullface, who ultimately ended up running into himself into the ground because, well, you can't beat the full force unit of the Falcons. You notice how they were all sticking together this time, too, which is absolutely phenomenal. Love it. Falcons flying high, as they should be. I know the arena's ready to go, so let's
go!
Get it going. Let's hop
that
in
was
the game
fast.
with the 6 casters. Take it away.
No. Oh, God, didn't come to you on camera.
Let me refresh the leaderboard on
I'm flapping my wings, baby. Fly, Falcons, fly. Oh, I love how they brought it in. They said, you know, we were waiting for them to kind of have their resurgence. Hey, that last map is their chance to take off and soar through their sky.
Yes, sir.
But here's the thing.
That doesn't make sense.
Can they keep soaring? That's my question.
The thing
they
about
got
it is
18
that
points.
Right there feels like job done for the day.
Yeah.
You know, it may not have been the calmest of opening 2 drops for them, but coming back in for drop number 3.
How many kills did they have?
Major kill win.
Any of them. Not a lot. They only got 18 points.
Real good, even if they don't necessarily put themselves at the top of the leaderboard after day number 1.
Absolutely. Here we go. Coming on in. Let's see.
He definitely had more than 18 points.
Our teams choosing to drop. That's always my question at the start of these games. Do we see any brand new contests? Do we see anybody getting mixy right off drop? Well, look who's now sitting on over here still at the stronghold. It's the Falcons.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, it's not just Falcons in a pretty comfortable spot. They're going to get a really good look over the course of what possibly is going to be a split rotation here for a mid. There was a couple of shots that were tossed, and a mid is completely staggered across the map.
Nice. Ben got a pick.
Right now, J-Tech already dealt with.
Nice. He's a little tagged up. You guys collapsed on him. GG's in the chatty.
A very poor opening here for a mid, who are going to have to essentially full reset and just allow their last player to sit in the water.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this on a regain. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. But you're telling me off drop?
I feel like they had something like 18 kills.
Your team is getting pieced up by Fnatic over there towards prison. Maybe not exactly what I would call the best play.
You know, look, I'm not one to judge, but didn't feel like the best opportunity, dropping essentially 1v3s into teams like Fnatic and Falcons. Questionable, to say the least, and that seems to be the strategy. I mean, we can see the big map. This member for a mid is still in the water. Like, he's just anchoring inside of water, has not gotten any loot, and Elo trying to find kills. This time it's been found by the Heretics.
Heretics doing a little good. They were feeling great at the end of that kind of first map. They set themselves up for success. Not able to really make it, I think, as deep as they would have liked. But for a squad that maybe had some question marks sort of coming into this event, we're seeing some signs of life for them when it comes to this trios area. But back on over towards Chemical, we are starting to see sort of some fights breaking on out as, well, LX is down here, maybe trying to throw a shoulder.
LX lost him. He didn't know where he went.
Gonna be the one to slide on first.
Oh, Eddie just killed Husk.
The shots are there, and, well, see you later, nerd. That's what I like to say.
The hip fire connects, and you just feel like God's greatest gift to COD. And, oh, interesting. Alex is kind of finding himself receiving a number of other contestants. Drake up top. has Lukinas below, who also drops it. It looked like Drake was about to go join.
How is LX still alive?
Say, hold on a second. That's
okay,
a different squad, and I'm not ready to take that battle yet.
Yeah, I think he was absolutely, you're correct, that you were trying to maybe get aggro, join your team to maybe try to turn the tides in your favor. But when you start seeing bullets coming from a completely different angle, well, and you just
okay, yeah, that sounds more right.
Alive.
Yeah,
like
okay, that sounds a lot more right. That means that they got a 20, what?
Active, maybe some damage on
23
point with Bio.
24
we have
point.
Team Vitality holding on down. Looks like they're the only team that's kind of existing there. And towards the prison area, well, Fnatic, they've sort of gained control of the center of the map.
They kind of got it for free.
Yeah.
I mean, there was this drop that came through, and it looked like they maybe took an early battle, but largely speaking, they've got this bottom side of prison well and truly in hand. The only
he
other
should
team
buy his gun.
Would be Guild. You see them kind of in the kill feed just a touch. They're continuing to kind of take apart these individuals for a minute, who continue just to drop into the action and try to
nice shots, Eddie.
While that was going on, something to note, we see one team is remaining or is deleted out of the lobby. It's Gaming Gladiators already taken out.
Really?
In this game. They
That's
really would
Huskers.
love to have a much better sort of scenario in their back pocket, but when
Huskers
it comes
has
to
had
this
two
game,
back-to-back really bad games.
For them to stay online.
They had a bad drop last game, too.
Yeah.
I want to say they finished outside of any multipliers, maybe 3 kills.
Yeah,
so
it's not great.
Yeah, so they're in trouble, too. And on top of that, not outside the conversation, is Cloud9. You kind of brought them up earlier. They're in a little bit of trouble at the moment. Vitality has rotated down through Onyx Raven. And you can see that Falcons are also kind of on the other side of the map, also picking apart kills. So we're going to have some really early action between some squads who really need some extra points.
Yeah, one thing I do like.
Why are we watching the squad? They're not fighting.
Mini map there. We have 2 of these players that have made their way over to Chemical, but they still have 1 player all the way back in Harbor. So even if those 2 players go down, you got your anchor still alive, feeling good. Nobody's around you. He'll be able to stay up. But it looks like maybe they kind of made their way over towards Chemical.
Hey,
Said,
Eddie,
we don't really feel
the guy's something right behind you.
Come back towards Harbor and hang on out there. But Zizix, he's been able to make some moves against Fnatic. You see J-Tech is down, Noobs is down. A little bit of cleanup on Isle headquarters. If you are Zizix, but it's not going to be for free.
Hamoud tries to provide some supporting fire, but now as he's the last one,
I don't think Eddie full died.
And it will allow Ullman and co to start to move their way in as he rotate back over towards Daga. Able to deal with 2 different members.
That was bad.
Come off the praises of them finishing in second to immediately getting destroyed.
Oh, and Jodo keeping it alive as well. Some of these teams that we needed to start doing well, they know that this is their last opportunity to put points on the board before tomorrow. Maybe feel a little bit good about how you end the day, and they're starting to turn on up. Joe with a fantastic elimination there. Brett starting his way to make some moves on this ship.
And you can also see in the kill feed, Team Falcons picking up where they left off. A couple of individual kills for all 3 of the members have been tallied. And as Zizix and co, well, now it's just Zizix actually in this area, has to kind of hit the high road. It is Falcons on the run. Hamoud, armor broken, 1 more tag in.
Did they ban the thermal? Because nobody's using it.
He will say that's the line in the sand. No need to go any further to try to get too ego.
I would have loved to see him try and push that, but I think they know that C9 is behind them. Shifty wants to back on up, help Biffle. Some shots coming on through. You can see maybe trying to get some hip fires through the smoke. Get any sort of idea where this player is going to be, but okay. You're not able to stay alive for that long. Jace, we have some question marks coming into this map. He's coming online.
And an opportunity to play off the high ground. Another tag comes through, but Shifty off the self-revive. Able to allow Biffle a little bit of extra breather, but Jovo knows that both players are weak. He's trying to now save Jace's life.
People died!
He's playing in the corner, but he's been down by Breadman, so Cloud9 will win out this battle.
Wow!
It leaves just 1 more Falcon left to rotate back towards living quarters. He's got to be careful.
Oh, it's the ranked playlist. Good comms, good comms.
A little bit of an aggressive play there from C9 that causes Falcons to falter. I like it. We're seeing signs of life from this Cloud9. I was a little bit worried when Jace going to try to take that 2v1. You let Shifty get the self-revive off, but it's just some great positioning from the teammates of Joe and Breadman that allows them to clean up the Falcons. So if you were the Falcons,
these guys are tweaking and there's nobody around them. They're like one way, and there's like nobody around them.
A little bit more proper fighting form. They kind of are nearby, and you can see them dueling it out here in the kill feed. Elo able to track down Hisoka. He was the healthiest and most stable of the 3 Falcons members, so now again trying to scramble for
and he just got a knock.
Find some ground to work with on the remaining 2 players.
Yes,
it's a really
go
tough
hunt for the book.
You can find yourself in where, okay, you have 2 players go down, you have your 3rd who's still alive, your anchor that's there, but while your 2 are regaining, coming on in, your anchor goes down. Now,
why is Biffle just laying down?
What I like to call it, because you are just constantly kind of feeding in and out, and it's really easy to get caught.
Oh,
with
I
all 3 of
see.
you being down, and maybe you go out a little bit earlier than you anticipate.
And this is pretty much an exhibit of all that conversation. Biffle has a pistol, just trying to hold on to this rooftop. 10x over the top. Dealt with him without much cause for concern.
CEO almost like perfectly thirded that.
Floating in. He's got to rotate to somewhere
Goaler
else.
is about to fight Joe and them.
So really good regain here for a bit after a very chaotic start from the squad. And we rotate back in towards where Fnatic now find themselves. Rotating into the mix over towards Factory. They have themselves Zizik's team right in front of them. And the team leader and the team namesake of it has already I don't know if that was an intentional mantle or not in the door frame.
Definitely was
he's
not.
Gonna get the points back off and try to extend this.
Huge kill out of Skull.
Not too far away. You got Hamoud who will fly on through.
Huge kill out of Skull.
There's a great little dance to win that gunfight. It is short-lived victory. Hamoud gonna put Skullface back on into the resurgence. As Almond still alive, you can see over here towards this bottom of the factory. Looks like this has now become Team Zig's home. As well, the Falcons, they've been able to fly back on over here towards Harbor, kind of get back to this area of the factory
They're gonna
that
take
you know
this.
they love to hang on out as Biffle walks on in. Apparently did not see that cluster mine.
The thing about it is, what teams we have here in the form of Cloud9, Zizix, and a couple of stray members from the Falcons.
Soka and them are dead.
Be able to third party this. They're going to get a buy back in, so all three of them will be here. They're not going to have the greatest of loadouts in the world, but as the zone starts to shrink, you're going to get some action here on the backside of Factory, and if those two contacts start to come through for Team Zizix and Cloud9,
wow,
you have
nice
to
shot.
right on in there trying to third party it.
And one thing I love about any of these maps is consistency. Because look where Team Abwas is. This is the exact same spot. We saw them in that last game. This is an area that they know, they love, they understand how they want to play it, and where they'd like to start working around the map. And if you're them right now,
that was horrible timing for Petsuka.
25% of the map, that's just basically free rotates.
Yeah. Speaking of kind of the same situation here for Vitality, Ninus is making this a little bit more difficult,
he was so dead.
Also got to be pushed from the smoke. That's enough for Patsuka to get kill number 8. He is on a burner. 8 of the, I think, current 12 kills that Team Vitality have. So he continues to impress. He impressed yesterday, and so far he's dealing a lot of damage here for Team Vitality as they will safely rotate over. And actually, I say that, they're going to run right into the Falcons next, and you can see that starting to pop up the kill feed as Hisoka has found the last remaining member for LX.
Some good shots coming out from Abwiz, though, on some of the members of Fnatic on the roof. Single tap SVA coming in clutch there. Somebody just peeks their head. You know, you love to have a sniper to maybe make that. Well, single tap SVA is going to be the next best thing. You hit those headshots, it's going to start ripping.
The laser beam, my guy.
Absolutely. It's almost a ray gun.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Could you imagine if you just found random ray guns?
That was in the game for a while. C9 rotating back on up to Grandma's. Breadman on 5 already, yeah. 2,000 damage. Looking to get Mixie. He's towards the top of the roof. Some great shots coming on in on the new.
Oh, nice. Eddie got the knock on that guy.
Reset. It is. So they've now taken control of Grandma's, this building that's right on the edge of zone.
This is very safe right now for Cloud9, but the issue is you can see where the rest of the circle is starting to pull.
And getting kills on the other side of prison, too.
That has been, again, to your word, consistent for them. They have gotten into prison off their opening drop pretty much for free, and now you've got dominating control of where this next rotation is going to be, especially as squads like Amit have to rotate in. Same for a couple of members for Onyx
yeah, Ben should try to get to Eddie and them. Top prison. Nice, Eddie's on 5. Ooh, one shot.
Something that we actually saw Team Destroy do in some of the earlier games, which is you have somebody sit up in this lighthouse, and you have your 2 other players play down below on prison. What this is going to do is going to let that player in lighthouse kind of hold this control center, headquarters side of the map. So if anybody tries to push on through, you're going to be able to at least make those calls to your teammates. The other 2, you get to kind of watch that other side.
They are in a really good spot here.
Set up for the last couple of zones is
They're
going to be really crucial.
Really good spot here.
Pull towards that small side of prison.
Yeah, Mid are in trouble right now. Noob's kind of watching 2 squads at once. As you rotate back to the other side.
Shifty and them have an awful row.
To keep themselves
Petsuka and them
for a while, mind you. They got a couple of kills on some of the Onyx Ravens members.
Petsuka and them can make a play here on Shifty if they're smart with it.
But there's enough circles here for them to at least weasel their way in and try to reset while everyone else tries to rotate in as well.
Slowly but surely making your way up these stairs. A couple shots come in. Looks like that's Guild. Has an idea that they're trying to fly on through, but a couple
got a free row. I'm mind blown.
To enter into the showers. Trying to maybe kind of hold out here, but look who's laying in wait. It's Zix. Was maybe hoping he could stay alive a little bit longer, but unfortunately does get sniffed on out. So as they push on through, this becomes their home now, their area. Anybody tries to come on through the showers, they are going to know they're going to be laying in wait. As we see Hisoka engage a recon drone.
This is a messy circle And it's not going to get any cleaner as we continue to go forward. Falcon's just holding doorways. Everyone's going to be doing the same thing. Everyone's just going to be holding choke points, holding doorways, and have to essentially hope they get good COD timing. The one team that's really comfortable, though, is the team still on top.
8th, and then 5th, and then
everything from below. They have a full triangular setup top side, and you can see it here on the overview.
And look even where this zone is going to start pulling. It's going to pull a little bit to the edge, almost where that last game ended, just a little bit on the outside of the water tower. So if they can manage to kind of hold this entire rooftop,
Joe are below them.
Ultimate height, as the rest of these teams are going to have to figure out how do they want to try and play through. We are going to see some insane gas plays have to come on through, like Team Omit.
Oh my God, Soka is last up.
But Falcons, they were a team that had to make that happen, but we see a couple of them going down. It's all on Hisoka.
Vitality down and out. Rotation in for Hisoka. He'll be the first one forward and the only one who can actually stay alive. Now it's just down to can he get to a top 5 position for a little bit more boost on the overall multiplier.
Ben and them cannot scam here.
Again, Fnatic up.
They're going to get so many kills of people running out.
Them. They're going to have the ability to rotate in lane if they want to. Claymore gets set, and Hisoka's going to find damage with it, but cannot survive through the full power of the Heretics. That's enough for the full squad wipe, and now we find ourselves with 6 teams remaining.
I like that the Heretics make that call, that they need to swing that all together, right? It would have been really easy for Hisoka maybe to find 1 or 2, and even if he does get taken on out, you're feeling good about being able to
They're in a really good spot
Heretics
here.
would then be on the back foot. So Heretics fly on out. They grab that little sort of cubby area.
What is Wars doing?
From Team Omit.
Hello? Oh no, Ben fell.
Fnatic. Almond, he's the one who's dropping off the top. He's able to find Wars from Team Guild. Can they be able to maybe clean up the rest of this? No. The revive comes on in as, well, the Heretics down low. They're still finding more.
And they've got good cover, honestly. I mean, you've got 2 different squads on 2 different levels of the remaining portion of prison that finds itself inside the zone.
I like this.
Like you mentioned, both these teams
and Skull's watching over them.
Who find themselves
Wait, who flanked them?
Jace dealt with. Guild still battling it out with Fnatic. Almond down low. This is a tough battle from the dramatic high ground, and Heretics are just following the zone. They're playing for placement. It's working out so far, while
they got wiped in 5th.
Battling it out.
I mean,
they got wiped in 5th.
Had control of the roof, but I don't know what happens. Guild, they're able to make their way on up. They push Fnatic on out. I believe they're able to fully take them on down, as it's basically going to come down to a battle between Guild and Heretics. C9 will be a team that is still alive, taking on out. Finally, Jace goes down. A flurry of kills between these 2 squads. Daka goes huge. Cam's still down below, but AJ from above will be the final player to lock it on. As we cut on over, these boys are happy. This is a squad that everybody's hyped up. You hyped up, and we are excited that we ended map number 6 on a dub for them.
Wow. I gotta say that King AJ makes the Giga Brain play, though. Everyone he knows has to be fighting for that low ground position. He must have had the durable gas mask, because he's sitting up top on that zip line the whole time, laying down shots while the rest of his teammates get into the mix. And all of a sudden, AJ's like, I'll sit up here and wait, see what happens. And wouldn't you know it, the last remaining Heretic member that did kind of 1v2.
This was a good day, okay? Like, I know that they didn't win any of the games, but this was such a good day. Like, going in probably second, I'm assuming, on the day. Such a good day.
It's a very strong second place finish.
Yeah, that's a reminder to
this is what they needed. This is what they needed. Very, very, very happy for them.
So even if maybe you didn't have the best day 1, it's games like this that make you feel good that you can do it as you get ready to move into day number 2.
And I think the thing about it is,
well, they're gonna have zeros, right? Ty, they're gonna have zeros game 3 and game 4 because they didn't play.
How many points do you need to try to find your way?
Yeah, facts. It depends. It depends how big of a lead that they have on the people below them.
I think some of that is due to the fact that the teams we didn't expect to play well played really, really well today. So that changes expectations, and it definitely moves the meter in terms of where you think you need to end on total score if you want to make it to that grand finals.
And you can see King AJ there. He's just hyped, dapping up his boy.
Yes, I'm super excited to see what they do tomorrow.
Yeah, boys, I've been here before.
They set themselves up really good today. I feel like that's always been their issue, is like whenever like the first day of a tourney is, they don't do well, and then they always put themselves like backs against the wall, and then they come out like swinging the second day. So I'm glad that like today they set themselves up really good.
So he's going to get up and then what? Take the zip to go all the way back up to the high ground? That seems to be maybe the call here because, yeah, I mean, you see Heretics cleaning things up on Cloud9, who also needed the points, by the way. And then, yeah, AJ's just sitting behind saying, you boys go fight. And maybe there's a call. Maybe AJ, he sees that more.
Hams did a really good play here, but AJ did an even smarter play here.
He finds himself looking right back down saying, oh, you guys are still fighting down there? Don't worry, I got you, no problem.
That was a really, really great call from him. While the two teammates are fighting, say, I'm hitting the zip.
I think they're top 2 today.
Fight, especially after coming off the self-revive. I think some players would get really frantic in that situation and just say, I'm going to play with my team. We're going to fry on out. Hey, you don't do that. You don't make that play. Jace might be set up to kind of be in the position that AJ was in.
Pretty sure he got second. I'm pretty sure he got second.
A couple of squads right there at the end of our top 3 who needed points, secure points. So things were to get really tight in the standings as we head down to reflections in the game to close out the day.
Hey, thank you, boys. Appreciate that. Final game of the day has concluded. All 6 games for Group Day, at least for Day 2, is over. 6 more tomorrow. But first, we got to talk about how today unfolded because it was exciting. And Game 6 gave us a fresh winner. Okay, we're talking about Guild, a team that you covered not only from Day 1, but even at the start of today.
Man, I keep on going up and down on this team. Am I happy I picked him at the start? Am I not happy? I'm happy now. Let me tell you, at the end of that game, I think Shift broke it down perfectly again. Massive play from King AJ to jump back on top of the building right at the end.
I think that Day 2, people will have a lot less points because people are going to be really riding for the placements. Because now, like, tomorrow is, like, when it really matters.
Of Prodigy being so well regarded, and King AJ as well, excuse me, just so well regarded, just such a good team. I think just looking at this roster, looking really good.
Like if today top 14 was 50 points, I think tomorrow top 14, like you probably like 10 less points than that, so like 40 points or like 90 points overall.
EU from the caster desk today, by the way. I'm sorry, Brody. I'm sorry, Enigma as well. You have to deal with all that. But Guild's finally putting that to rest, and they're really showing what they can bring to the lobbies here at the end of the game. Finishing off strong is going to give them good momentum heading in towards tomorrow as well. And not only that, it's kind of like the whole discussion that group stage isn't done either. So coming out with a win, any team that comes away with a win, especially as big as Guild right now, it's going to keep you away from that danger zone tomorrow. So that is good standing for Guild.
That danger zone is real, right? You do not want to be one of the bottom 8 teams because that means your World Cup trophy run will end. Now, Appwiz, phenomenal day from those guys, right? Phenomenal day, and I was hoping they would perform well because they're always a big narrative.
Absolutely. And I mean, did you guys notice a lot too on the like northern part of the zone by the boat, by that control side? They were wiping everybody out on that last map. And it was just so amazing too. Oki, the plays that he made, the gas plays he made, truly incredible.
Yeah, Rogers.
But also the Falcons, right? The crowd favorite. I actually had a chance to go over there. That's where I went. I do apologize. I had to experience the arena. Normally I'm stuck over here, but they were going nuts whenever the Falcons were doing incredibly well. And I do believe we have a chance to chat with one of the Falcons member, if I'm not mistaken, in just a little bit. Falcons, a team that, again, they came in with the expectation to pressure on them to perform. They started off a little bit, slow. Two eight-play finishes, but then they end up finishing with a win. Real quick, Falcons, have they delivered what we expected?
I think certainly towards the penultimate game, the answer is absolutely yes. I think even in that final game, though, they were flagging. You mentioned it, right? Not the start that they wanted to that final game. And they never really felt like they recovered. I think tomorrow, they'll be looking at what they need to do better.
Well, that's it. The Falcons pulling up and going big towards the tail end. Let's head to the STC Arena to talk to the Falcons.
Welcome back to the main stage of the STC Arena. I'm joined by Falcons. I've got Hisoka, I've got Biffle, and I've got Shifty. You know what, Biffle, I'm going to come to you first. The victory that everyone has been waiting for, obviously the crowd has been behind you this whole time. How does it feel to have the crowd chanting for you guys while you're playing?
I mean, it feels amazing. They're very loud, so like whenever you hear them, it just gets us very amped. I hope you guys keep it going all week long. We got next 2 days, so I'll be hyped to hear the crowd again on our more wins.
I'm sure they will keep going, I can promise you that. I've been here before, they just keep going, and it's amazing. Now, Shifty, today didn't really start the way that you guys would have planned, not the way you would have hoped. I think 7th and 8th were your first 2 maps. What happened? What were kind of the issues that you might have been facing?
We just started off a little bit slow. I'm not gonna lie, I credit those 2 maps to me. I stunned myself and got killed because of it. So, I mean, maybe just shaking off the jitters. We're back on land, and I'm glad that we just came back.
But then map 5, you shook it off, and you popped.
Yeah, they
off,
definitely,
so
they definitely came crazy this second half here.
Soka.
First half wasn't so good. Second half was really good out of those 3.
Good. You're really chill. It's nice. It never gets to you, does it? Being on the stage, doesn't get to you.
I'm not like these other gamers. I'm here to prove something and show out, baby.
Okay. So let's talk about the comms, because
I'm
you're
not
IGL.
like these other
How were the comms at the end
gamers?
of map 5? Because you didn't have high ground. Most teams might have panicked. Some IGLs might have panicked, but it seemed like you had full control.
Yeah, we definitely have full control. You know, ideally you would want high ground. You know, usually high ground wins games, but that specific zone, high ground was water tower, so it's kind of easy to break from under because you can shoot basically everything in water tower. So I already knew that, and the boys, they shot their gun and made my job easy. So.
You did indeed, and congratulations. I do have to give a shout out to Clapper for surviving for that long, but ultimately, Falcons took that win. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Milos, you got anything to say about that one?
Very much I do. Thank you, Barney. Congratulations.
I
again
do.
to Falcon, and this is now for all of the Arabic fans out there.
Seriously, they come in as one of the top dogs, and they finish as a top dog, at least when it comes to our final games. Falcons, fans giving them energy, of course.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in a LAN setting. I mean, you think about Biffle, you know, I always talk about Hisoka Shifty. So Biffle, obviously a beast in his right mind, but WarzoneEarnings.com, man, beautiful tool. 17 tournaments. Out of the last 17 tournaments that he's played, Biffle has won 16 of them. In the 17th one, he got
crazy.
second. So when you think about that,
That is
think about
crazy.
Hisoka with his average placements at 1.88. Come on.
1.88, that's not bad at all. But also today, 8 seems to ring a bell.
Yeah, 3 8th place finishes from Falcons. They get that first place finish, so you know you can see the Falcons are starting to kind of pick things up, unlike what we saw yesterday in the solos. But I think it really highlights what we're seeing out of the Falcons, and that they're getting that 8th place is because they're really seeing the elevation of the teams around them. You know, players contesting them, teams watching out for them, targeting them. It's not an easy road right now for the Falcons, but you can see the crowd's giving them the energy. They're still very strong-willed. They still know that they can battle against them. In the gains, they've been making it happen.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing, right? I mean, you saw that as an example right towards the end of the game. Hisoka, despite being left alive all on his own, he's even still a massive threat against Heretic, trying to push him out. Almost manages to get away with a freebie that he should never be getting. Something, again, we referenced last game, and we saw that little highlight reel from Shifty. Another one of those players consistently just doing things that they should not be doing. The Falcons, they're starting to get some speed.
Starting to get some speed and starting to look good, but let's crown our Sony MVP, at least for the last 2 games. Who is it? And it's none other than Oki coming in with the appendix game. Like I said, MJ flew. Now he's got the appendix game.